welcome to Dope Comedians. It's been a minute since I've done an episode because the pandemic, obviously, did some pandemic episodes, but those were pandemic-y and weird. So now I'm back for some regular post-pandemic episodes. I'm gonna jump right into it. I'm not gonna waste y'all time because it's been so long, and this comedian, he was about to leave town, and I actually convinced him to stay for a bit. To do one more episode for me. He tours all over the country, performs everywhere. He has a podcast where he talks about his touring adventures, and that is called Best Champion. You can catch that. He also has a stand-up special on Dry Bar Comedy. You can look for that. And he also, in addition to all of that, he has a podcasting studio here in LA. That's called Third Wheel Comedy Podcast. And on top of that, he has a comedy club where he performs and everyone else performs. So this dude is super busy. I'm super grateful to have him here. Please welcome to the show, Mike Masilotti.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. You make me sound busy.
I mean, you seem busy.
Yeah. I just like doing, I know my hobbies end up being fun. Like I don't play video games and stuff like that. My hobbies all end up being like a podcast or like this business stuff. So like, I don't know. Like I'm always doing something, but it doesn't feel like
your downtime is like work. It's still doing more work. Yeah, I'm the same way.
It's hard to have downtime. It's always a project. It's my downtime.
Your breaks are in between projects.
Yeah, I just jump from one to the other, and it's like that's my mental break in this direction. I'll go to this project. You know what I mean?
Is that how you, because you have the podcast, Best Champions? Mm-hmm. So you talk about all of your happenings on tour, which is really cool. Did that come along through?
So actually, the podcast started everything because it was actually a different name before. It was the same format. I think it was like the Unfunny Podcast. Me and like 3 or 4 buddies, and then we were just recording the podcast every week at my apartment in Sherman Oaks, and like no one knew it was my apartment because I like bought a backdrop. We'd slowly make it, like buy better cameras, better mics, better everything, to the point where like when you see it on camera, if you don't realize, if you turn the camera, it's my front door and my kitchen. People don't realize it. So then the people were hitting me up asking if like, where are you recording? Can I rent your studio? And I was like, oh, this isn't a rental studio. And then me and my buddy Nolan had an idea of like, I bet if we built one, people would rent it. And then we honestly I stopped doing the podcast, not on purpose. We just, all the effort went into building the podcast studio. And then now we have 3 of them, which was 1 in Seattle, 2 in LA. So It was like, Nolan lives part-time in Seattle with his wife. So while he's up there, he's like, let's open one up here. So we do that. And then we just opened one in Playa Vista a couple months ago, which was like gnarly. But yeah, so the podcast started that, took a break from the podcast for the studios, and now it's like going back to do, why did we start the studios? Because we wanted to have a place for our podcast, you know? So
I tried to find like a more recent episode of Best Champion, but has it been a minute?
Yeah, because I actually like just like a week ago. I'm very into true crime. I know a lot of people probably are, but when I go on the road, I visit true crime locations because I'm in a random city, and you just look up what crazy shit happened within 40 minutes of here. And it's usually something you've seen on TV before, or just like something I've seen in YouTube videos. Like, I want to go there. I want to see what it looks like and feels like. So I went to like the Aurora Batman shooting, like the movie theater, and I went to where his house was, and like I've been to like the Oklahoma City bombing and stuff, and like just going to just like these spots I wouldn't necessarily find myself in.
What was the energy like?
Honestly, some of the spots, it's weird because it just feels so everyday normal. Like, I mean, where Biggie was shot is like Fairfax and Wilshire. So like you just drive by that all the time. It's like, wow, it's crazy that he died right here. But it feels like every day when you're just driving by, you know what I mean? You don't have that moment. But some houses you go to, the neighborhood feels it. Like they'll tear down the house, or they'll like put a memorial garden where it's like you can feel more of an impact in some of the areas. Some of it's like life goes on. Yeah. And it's kind of, weird. But
yeah, no, but it's interesting that you do. So on your tours, in between your shows, you stop by all these places that have had some weird tragedy. Yeah. And then I saw you have a map somewhere.
So I built a map, basically because there was there was no map that had them all. There was a couple here, a couple there, but like there was no one spot that had everything. So I started I'm still building. I have like 400, and I think like I'm up to 480 on there locations, but it's like murder locations, like someone's famous house, like where Ted Bundy grew up, or like if there's a memorial where someone was abducted, where they found remains of people. So I have like them all like in these different charts, so you could like look at them. It tells you how to get there, and like I also link a story to each one, so when you go there, you can read about what happened and like stuff like that.
This is very in depth.
Yeah.
Like you put a lot of time into it.
Yeah.
That sounds like something that you really want to pursue. Like what? So how do you gauge on like what project to work on? Like, because that sounds like a whole. Did you go to all those 400 places?
No. So if I've been to like 5, well, I've been to a handful of them, but I didn't start filming them till the last 2. So I kind of got the idea as I was going to them, because I was so in. Like I'd be at my buddy's place in Austin, Texas. I was like, bro, there was this famous Yogurtland murder that happened like 40 minutes from here. And he looks at me like I'm crazy. He's like, can we please drive there? And he's like, what's there now? It's like, it's not that. It's just a different business, but I want to go there.
Yeah.
But it's like some people have the same pull. So I just felt like, well, maybe if I don't know. I just felt like I would sit down and edit when, like, I have a podcast called True Crime Travel Map. It's like video and audio. Every Monday I release it. But like it's like 6 to 8 hours for me to edit it and research it and do it. But like I can't get away from it while I'm doing it. And other projects and stuff, when they pop up on my screen, I'm just like, I don't want to even look at this. So I just lean on where I'm feeling. Like if I want to play music for a couple weeks, because that's where I'm feeling, then I'll just do that and kind of take a break on the other thing. And like if I start playing my guitar, like yesterday I was playing for like 2 songs and I was like, I'm good. I just put it down and I jumped to something else. Like don't get mad at the fact that I'm not into this. What am I into right now? But always keep like the things going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like don't ever ignore a thing, but keep moving them all forward, and they'll all end at some point. Like you'll finish the projects or.
That sounds like what I do with my thoughts. I just try to like whatever thought I have it, and then let it pass.
Yep.
I let it go.
Yep.
That's how I meditate.
That's good.
Let's smoke.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You are like a professional.
Yeah, I love weed. It's not, you know what's funny is I get embarrassed about it because like I've been smoking since I was 14. I'm 37. I took 2.5 months off once, and it was to join a gang when I was in New York. It was
you joined a gang?
When I was a kid, I tried to. I was like probating for this gang. They were real. They were on like Gangland. It was just like a hardcore gang, whatever. But I just played music. I was 20 years old, and like I noticed the bands that were like the cool ones all had a couple gang members in them, and they would just go city to city playing these great shows. And the energy, because everyone would like, when you'd get there, they had a connection with people, because it's like, oh, you're part of our family, whatever. So I just wanted to be part of that life, but I didn't care about anything but the music side. Like I just wanted to be in that. And then I was at a show where someone got murdered in Asbury Park, New Jersey, and it was wild. And I just realized little by little, like, oh, this ain't for me. You know what I mean?
The business.
Like I'm not a tough guy. I make these tough guys laugh. You know what I mean? Like they liked me because I was a funny guy. But I just didn't, and a lot of them end up in jail, and like or they OD. It's not good. And it was like middle of nowhere in upstate New York. I just felt like I was like kind of stuck doing that. So, but to actual probate the one guy, he just didn't like weed, and they all drank. But he was just like, you can't smoke weed. And I wanted to be in it so bad. That's what, like my whole life, people were like, to get this job, to do whatever, you can't smoke. I'm like, I don't care. I'm not doing it. But for this gang, I was like, yeah. So I stopped for 2.5 months, and then I decided I didn't want to do the thing, and they were actually cool. My brother was a part of it when I was growing up. He's not anymore, but so they knew me, they liked me, so they were like, just get out of here. And then I moved to Seattle, but yeah.
Did you let you leave like that? I thought you have to like.
I wasn't ever in. I was like probating, where you try out for like 6 months, and then they still wouldn't let me in. Like long story is my brother's best friend Shane. He was like the singer of my band too at the time. Again, I wanted to be in this group, and they were all like 12 years older than me. I was this young dude. But he kept, like, he had to be, like, unanimously voted in, and he wouldn't vote. Like, I didn't know who kept saying no. After 6 months, 7th month, and the 9th month, it's like, all right, who the fuck isn't letting me in? I know all y'all like me, and I found out it was Shane. So I ended up, like, I hated his guts. I quit my band. I moved to Seattle, all because I was like, I just want to get away from this whole thing. And I really, like, I remember one day I found out he was thinking about moving to Seattle because my brother was out there and some of his friends were. And I was so mad. Like, stay away from my city, dog. Yeah. Like, I left to get away from all this shit. And then he died of a heart attack. And then, like, looking back, I realized, like, he was the only one that had my back. Like, this guy was like, oh, this 20-year-old kid, this ain't for him. Like, everything that we're all doing, this ain't for him.
Yeah.
And he was the only one that, like, saw it. And like I didn't realize that. So like years after he died, I was thinking about like the whole situation. And it's like, oh, because I was like, why do I hate Shane so much? It's like, oh, because he stopped me from doing this stupid thing.
Yeah.
That like even my brother wasn't around at the time, but even he was like, yeah, it's cool. I did it when I was growing up. It was different when he was younger, but it was like, yeah, the one guy that had my back, I hated his guts, and I feel like a dick for it, but he knows.
I mean, you didn't know. You didn't know that that was his way of looking out for you. We never know. Like we have to get out of the situation before we realize like what actually happened or the reason, the lesson learned behind it.
Yeah.
That happens a lot, for sure. But yeah, it sucks that he passed away.
Yeah, I don't think I would have even noticed what happened until because I didn't really think about why when I heard he died, I was like, why am I so mad at this guy? And then I thought about it, I was like, oh, because he stopped me from, and then it hits you as an adult, like making a terrible decision. Like he's the only one that really had my back.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was mad that he wouldn't let me join a gang at 20 years old.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
the fuck is wrong with me?
He was like, no, this kid has better.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, those are like the angels. I'm not religious, but I feel like those are the angels in our life, the ones that come along, and it feels like a brick wall. But even like you said, it's like that was a dumb. Like joining a gang is not really the best.
No, it's like the worst.
It's not goals. There's no life goals for that.
Yeah, but that was the only reason I stopped smoking weed, and then since then I've been smoking since I was 14 every day. Like I don't take a day. If I take a day off, it's like a problem. Like, I get upset.
You get it really?
It just like bothers. It's like what I was saying before. Like my life is good. I work really hard, but I am high all day. So it's like I want to quit smoking. Yeah, right? So sometimes I'm like, should I quit smoking? Would my life be like, I feel like maybe and then I don't smoke for like 8 hours. I'm like, this sucks. Like, what am I not smoking for? Like, I'm fine. And even my business partner's like, you need to smoke, bro. Like, you're so much better when
Does he smoke too?
No. But he's an alcohol guy, but he hates being an alcohol guy. And he said, I wish I was a weed guy. He has too much anxiety from it. Like, we smoked a couple times, and last time we smoked, oh my God, this poor dude. He had that moment where we were at a campfire, great time, hours away from like LA, just enjoying it. And he looks at me, he's like, hey bro, have you ever called 911 before? And I was like, oh, please don't do this right now. And he's like, no, I need an ambulance. And you're just like, no, you don't. And you know, you're talking to your buddy through it, but he thinks 1,000%. And he's like, no, I trust you because you smoke every day, Mike, but this is bad. And you're just like, oh no. So but then that's in his head now. So every time he smokes, he thinks that's gonna happen. And if you do that, it's gonna happen. You know what I mean?
I have those thoughts. I still have those thoughts where it's like, should I call the ambulance? But I'm like, no. I'm not gonna be on those videos where it's like this high girl called the ambulance.
I know. That's the other thing is now everything's on body cams. I don't want to be on a YouTube video.
I know. You're gonna be on TikTok.
Not handling my shit.
Okay, what do you want? So these are homegrown. I don't grow, but I have a bass player friend who grows.
Cool.
I watched him pick these.
Fuck yeah, we can try that.
And then this is from a dispensary.
I'm down for whatever, but yeah, I'm a bassist, so I'm down for bass player weed.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
When did you start playing music?
When I was 14.
Everything at 14.
I know. That was honestly 14. I lost my virginity.
At 14?
Yeah. This girl went up to me. It wasn't me. I had no game. This girl literally went up to me because I looked like a little punk rock kid, and she's like, "You're cute." And I was like, "Cool." And then she was a grade above me, and she just held my hand through it. It was really fun. You could tell I wasn't even her probably second or third. And then because like 3 months later, I was like in love with this girl, and then she like broke up with me, and I rode my bike to her house to like get her back, and I heard her having sex with somebody else.
Oh, damn.
I cried on her front lawn, and my buddy came and like on his bike and like rode home with me. It was really a big bummer.
Yeah.
And everyone didn't like me because of it, because I didn't know she was dating like the cool punk rock guitar player at the school. Because I was a freshman. So I showed up, this girl has sex with me, and she like dates me for 3 months, then she drops me, and they're all like, oh no, she was dating the popular guitar player guy, now he hates you. And so instantly when I started high school, it's like, oh, I'm a music guy. All the musicians that are cool don't like me.
Yeah.
So that was a very big bummer.
Yeah, have you ever Googled her and like?
Yeah, she has kids and a family now, and she's sweet, like whatever. But she probably doesn't even remember me compared to like the guy she hung. Because it was like 3 months of her life, but she was like my first.
Yeah.
So like to me, I'm never gonna forget her. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I don't think she even remembers me. But I do look her up. I'm not gonna lie. I definitely do look her up. Be like, what's good with you?
What's good?
Yeah. Yeah, 14 was a big year, but weed was the big thing for me. Oh, thank you. First time I ever smoked weed was out of a bong too.
First what?
First time I smoked weed was out of a bong. I didn't get high, but I pretended to be high, which was the worst.
How do you pretend to be high?
I don't know.
What do you just like?
I don't know. I was just acting stupid. Because everyone else was high around me and I was embarrassed that I wasn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the second time I got high, I got really high. You know?
Gotta inhale.
Yeah, I know, right?
So there's a show that you do called Gateway.
Yeah.
And you do a set sober, and then you come back fucked up on something.
Yeah. You get as high as you can. I smoke a lot, so I mean, Billy's great. Billy Anderson started it, runs it. He's so like, he makes sure, because he knows I smoke a lot, that I'm like really high. But it's funny, in the beginning, I met, this show started in Seattle when I was with Billy, and when we met, he wouldn't put me on the show because he's like, you smoke too much. This show is for people that don't smoke, you know, which makes sense. He's like, I want people to see how whatever. So I remember I was like, bro, I'll do anything to be on the show. And he asked me if I would do mushrooms. And I was like, yeah, for sure. And I did mushrooms, and then the show went great. I remember feeling like, I felt like something special happened, but I was so gone. Like I left the venue, I walked around Seattle for like an hour. I was so high. It was like the highest I've ever been. I was on stage. And I remember like throughout the night being like, I think that something cool happened, but I'm not sure. So then like 5 months later, I'm on the road with Billy. And I know he filmed the show, but I forgot to ask him for it. So while we're together, I asked him like, hey man, is it cool if I get that video? I think it was a cool show. And he's like, yeah, for sure. Gave me the video, I posted it, and it went viral as hell. Like, started with a couple thousand views on my page, and then Lad Bible hit me up, and they're like, hey, can we repost this? I was like, yeah. It ended up getting like 5 million views across different formats. But I was like 2 years into stand-up, so I had no idea how to do anything about. Like, people were coming out to see me, and I was like, I have 7 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was bad.
Which clip was it? I wonder if I saw it.
It was just me being high. If you just type in comic does shrooms, I just kind of, it was like just talking. I didn't do any jokes. I just spoke for 5 minutes. But it was like, it was good. Like, I even look back sometimes watching, like, bro, you were good. Like, a funny high. Like, it was fun. But people were like saying I wasn't high. Then people that do a lot of mushrooms were like, you could definitely see that this dude was fucked up.
Yeah.
Because I just had him in my pocket. I remember just eating one by one throughout the night because I was nervous about the show. And then I had no more in my pocket. and had that moment of, it's like, oh no, like, this is bad. But then I told Billy, told him about the video. And when it was going viral, we were at Universal together. And he was so cool because we were on mushrooms. That was the second time after I did mushrooms. The next time is when the day went viral, which was so weird. And we were at Universal together, and he looked at me. He was like, put your phone away. Everything's going to be wild. Just enjoy today. And we had like the best day ever at Universal. Other than the next day, it was pretty ridiculous. But then I wish it happened closer to now. Because like I was so not even good at comedy that I was just like, I just had a fun high night that got recorded. But
yeah. You weren't ready for the opportunity.
Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, I thought I was just going to be high one night. But But now we're going to, we travel. We're going to Montana this week. That's why I'm leaving on Wednesday. We're doing Billings, Missoula, and Bozeman, and I fly out, and he does Helena out there. But yeah, we travel the country doing the show. He does it mostly without me, but I've done it more than anybody else. Like, we've gone on the road. Like, I quit my job in Seattle, and we did 30 dates or 25 dates in 30 days, and then moved to LA together. That's like the big.
That's really cool. See, you are busy.
Yeah,
pretty busy. What is it like during? So like, I'm pretty much always high. When I perform, I try to make sure that I'm not like too high. Like, I know my limits. But shrooms, I've never done shrooms in a performance. Like, I've gone to the museum and I've walked around like I want a microdose, but never performed. Like, what is that experience?
Honestly, I'm not even kidding. I just remember feeling like it just wasn't real. And then halfway through, I just forgot I was in front of people. I even mentioned in the video because I was just, you're looking at the lights for so long and you can't really see people, and you look down and there's just a bunch of people looking at you. And yeah, it felt like it just wasn't real. Like the whole, because I don't do shrooms a lot. And at that time I especially didn't. And I ate more than I ever have at that point. So I don't remember a lot of it. I do just remember, when I got off stage, feeling the crowd enjoying it. I was like, that something was cool. And just saying, and then I don't know, I think mushrooms is like the most real, like I like smoking weed, whatever, but when I do mushrooms, like I have, so I feel like shit's happening, you know what I'm saying? Like something real is going on in my head, and I have certain thoughts that I don't need to write down because I know I'll remember them.
Yeah.
It's like that one deep, like, this is the line from this adventure, remember this. And then from this adventure, remember. So, yeah. But I do remember thinking that when I was walking around, like, that something special just happened. Don't forget that. And then like months later, I asked Billy for the video, and I'm glad I almost didn't because I was so embarrassed because he already gave it to me once and I lost it. And we weren't even close at that point. Me and Billy were kind of close, but now we're like homies. We worked there so much, so I couldn't just be like, hey, I lost the video, give me another one. I was like terrified to ask him. But yeah, no, I love doing mushrooms. I only do it like every 6 months because I do think it's a thing. Like it's real. I just did ketamine for the first time.
Ketamine, isn't that a combination of what is ketamine?
I don't know. It's like I know they use it for depressed. That's why I actually did it, is I was going through a little bit of a downer. But I think it's like a horse tranquilizer or an animal tranquilizer.
Oh.
And they the way we did it was, I don't know, it was it looked like Coke but different color, and we just sniffed some of it. Probably not the smartest clinical way. They probably don't do that at the doctor. I don't think they unwrap a key from a fucking surgical thing, you know.
Oh, I'm sure they do. I bet they do. That's exactly what they do.
But I did it with purpose, though, because I remember I was feeling down, and I heard it helps, and it fucking did.
Okay.
I'm not kidding. It totally did.
What did you experience?
So it wasn't that long, and this is it happened like a month ago, and I'm so I want to do it again, but not again. I want to give it time.
Yeah.
But it first I felt like that wop 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 wop, like that kind of feeling first for like a minute, and then it slowly goes away, and then I just felt really heavy. And then my buddy was like, all right, he had a skateboard ramp, so we just laid on his skateboard ramp and looked at the sky, and I just felt like I was glued to the ramp, and it honestly, the simplest way I could put it, it felt like my brain was a dirty bedroom, and I just cleaned it. Like when you feel you walk into your bedroom and it's all clean and you just feel good.
Yeah.
It felt like I just did that with my thoughts, and I can't even, it was so weird because I was going through like a breakup too. One that I really care about and one that was to get over the person kind of, so, but everything I was confused about, it decoded it. It was weird. And then I just remember having one thought that played through was because I remember feeling this is great. I love this feeling. And the next thought I had was, well, this feeling's gonna end soon, because as your high just slowly gets lower. And then the third thought was, who cares? Enjoy it right now. Everything ends. Mm-hmm. And then that when I left, it's every day I've been thinking that I love what's happening right now, and I go to I hope this doesn't, it's gonna end. This sucks. No, who cares? Enjoy it. Enjoy it right now. And fuck, man, it really after that day, I drove home feeling okay, something is different, and I didn't realize it. I've been going out every night, doing stand-up more. Even just being out isn't such a chore to get out of my apartment as it felt like it was before.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it definitely helped. I don't want to say everyone does their own thing, but.
So just altered something. So you took it, how long did it take for it to kick in?
A minute.
Okay.
And then, but it went away in 30. I was back sitting down in a chair regular in 30 minutes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And within 20 minutes, I was fine, but I was just foggy coming out of it. But for 15 to 20, you're in it, but it's not, you're not tripping, you're not seeing shit, it's kind of the mental mushroom side. I did feel a little bit of visually stuff focused a little bit. It wasn't pixelated or anything like that. It just felt okay, visually something's happening.
I'm gonna try this.
Yeah, it's honestly, I am so beyond into it after that.
And you still are feeling the effects, basically.
Yeah.
When did you do it?
A month ago.
Oh, wow.
And I was her. I'm not gonna lie. I was bumming. I was just being and I was doing projects, which kills me because it's I smoke weed all day at home. I do projects, so it's it's hard to realize I'm depressed when I'm working so hard, because it's well, look at all the stuff I'm getting done, and look, I'm getting in shape, and I'm doing it, and it's yeah, but you're doing this all because you're really bummed, and you don't know that because you're doing so much.
Yeah.
And then when I had that just with at my buddy's place, and it just, I don't know, I kind of fixed even the way I was perceiving shit. I used to have bad anxiety, and then a lot of it was just it's a waste of time. Every time I get anxious or depressed, I'm hey bro, you're wasting your time. This is stuff that doesn't matter. It live right now in this moment and this feeling, because everything is when you're washing dishes, wash dishes. When you're driving somewhere, drive there. Stop being in 9 places at once, because you're never anywhere. And I hear that stuff a lot. It's when you read quotes, but after I did that shit, I felt I was actually doing it.
Living it.
Instead of just saying oh yeah, this is the words you should say. Yeah. It's I was waking up and laying with my dog for 40 minutes and just kicking it with him and not even thinking about what am I doing? I'm I'm just kicking it with my dog. He's only here for 10 years and I'm his life. And you know what I mean? When I'm so you remember that a little bit too. When you get home and you're a little tired and your dog's yo, what's up? It's I've been waiting for you for 8 hours. Yeah. It's all right, let's go kick it. And it's being in those moments more, what matters for real. The people that matter for real more. seeing my family. I don't know. Just like all that stuff is like I was saying it, but now I'm like doing it. And I feel it's not a chore to do it. I'm excited. I drove to San Diego stuck in traffic to go to a baseball game with my brother-in-law because he never asks me, and he did. And I was like, that's weird. I'm not saying no. And the whole trip, everyone's like, I'm so sorry you're driving down. I was like, this is great. Like, I'm getting to see the family. Like, but if I was in another mindset, like, oh, I got to drive to see the family. It's perceptive. And like, I don't know. It was hard to like get out of that. And I felt like, I don't know, I'm feeling good.
Yeah. No, that's cool. That's great to hear. It's not like what you experienced in 30 minutes is what has taken me like 10 fucking years to like do through meditating. Like that's what it sounds like. You just like sped through a whole process.
Yeah, but I did go thinking about it a lot. Someone told me that going with a purpose when you do it. Don't just like get that, like what was I? And I was thinking about it, like, why am I so bummed every day? And I just remember just having it in the back of my mind. And then it's like, oh, let's figure this out. And I didn't even like think. I just kind of was like, yeah, it was just like not intrusive thoughts, but just these thoughts were popping up that were all ones I think I was pushing back.
Yeah.
Or just like the honest feelings that you say, but in that little voice, and it says it out loud. And you're just like, oh, this is real. Like when I hit up the ex and I was like, hey, you want to go out to dinner? He's like, is it a good idea? I was like, probably not, but I miss you and I want to talk to you. And this is the feeling I'm having right now. And I'd rather say something than look back in 10 years and be like, I should have said something.
Yeah.
And it's like even with that, with friends and shit, like just connecting with the people more. Like I hate being the one-sided friend where I'm like, damn, they always hit me up. Like, why is that? So I made a list of my friends. But it's to just check up on people and not forget, because I have a bad memory. But you just look at the list of names and it's like, every couple of days, did you talk to Greg? Have you talked to Bill? Like, how are they doing?
Yeah.
And it's like, and it sounds corny, like it's forced, but it's not. It's like I really want to, but I'm so like, my brain is so foggy. I feel like I have to write everything down, and I live on like cards. And it says like, talk to your buddies, hit your friends up, see if they're,
Do you have any cards on you now?
No, I have I put, it's funny, I put them all on my phone, and then I get home and I have a notebook and I transfer it all there. So when I have an instant thought, I'll record a voice memo or put it in my cell phone. And every night I write it all out to like add it to the notebook, just to like, organize. My thoughts are like, I do too much shit. I guess I do. But if I have it all written down, I don't forget. And it's like, it's good. It's just like, oh, just do this. Don't even think about it. Just do it. And then,
So this ketamine just like really shifted, like.
And I don't want to be that drug guy.
How is it, a pill or what is it?
It was like a powder.
A powder, okay.
Yeah, but I don't want to be like, I'm not like, I don't do crazy drugs. I'm like scared of DMT and shit. I'm not like I'm good with just weed. I'm not like an exploratory guy, like with a lot of shit. But that was just one I've heard a lot of good things about when it came to like depression. And so I did try it because of that. I'm not like a big party, but but my buddy got it, and I trust who he gets it from, because like I don't know how to get it,
Yeah.
My friend had some sent to him from Africa in a bird skull.
What?
Yeah, on the dark web. He showed me it. I couldn't believe him. He got this bird skull, and he wrote the guy like, hey, I thought did I buy the wrong thing? And he's like, no, open the skull. And my brother like,
that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Was it an actual skull or was it made of like?
No, it's an actual skull.
Oh wow.
Yeah, my homie fucking opened the whole thing up and found this shit in there, and he's like, all right, cool. But again, but he also has test kits and all that, so he's like, oh, this shit was really good. I'm just such a not drug. He was like a drug guy. I'm just not a drug guy, so I just get so scared about everything. Like I didn't do anything other than weed till I was like in my 30s, because I was just so afraid of just, I don't know, ODing on something or being like,
Especially now too. I had a cousin who overdosed on fentanyl during COVID. So yeah, it's definitely
scary.
like, you have to be careful. On this neighborhood, you've probably seen like the tags 18 when you're coming. They just be selling so much drugs, and people just be literally dropping on the street. Like I've seen this year probably 3 bodies on the street. Like the paramedics come, and then once they realize the person's dead, they give them CPR, and then the police show up to do, I guess, an investigation, and they put this white tent up. And I've seen this like multiple times this year, and like over the past few years of living here. So I've been in terms of. Like I used to do a lot of drugs too, but now I'm just getting more and more like cautious about it, especially because I don't particularly know the people very well that I'm getting it from. Yeah. So like, you going down that trip is like I would have done that with extreme caution. I've done DMT.
Okay, I had. How was that?
It's kind of like what you described, but it's a short. I think it was like, I feel like it was maybe like a 10-minute trip.
Okay, but I heard it's visually ridiculous.
On that part, it can be or it can't be. It depends. But the lasting effects is similar to what you described. But yeah, like my DMT trip, one of my DMT trips. I've done it multiple times. I was being chased by, it seemed like a dark cloud. I was being chased by a dark cloud.
Whoa.
But it didn't feel dramatic in the way like my life was in danger. It felt like a fun game.
Okay.
But I was still like, why is this cloud chasing me? Like it doesn't feel like it's trying to hurt me. And then finally I went over this hill, and then as it was coming up behind me over the hill, it exploded into a bunch of butterflies.
Oh,
and the butterflies started tickling me.
No way.
Yeah.
See, that sounds awesome. That's so cool.
And then like the effects of like being happy. Like I felt like the first time I did DMT, it felt like the world hugged me. Like I mattered. Like I was supposed to be here. Like the world cared about me. And then just like having that feeling for a couple of weeks, it probably lasted maybe a month, and then it just like, life shit happened and then just faded away. But yeah, it was just like, for that month, I felt very transformed and like I was, doing something. But yeah, it isn't like, you said you've been going for...
I mean, it's been at least easily over a month, maybe a couple months, but yeah. But it's also, I do think I shifted what I was doing from it to, like, I don't know, I just started like exercising and eating better, and like just being, when I'm like, my morning routine is a little different, because it was just, yeah. But it's also just like, doing, being creative helps a lot, and not caring. And this is dumb, to be honest, like, so the Third Wheel, the podcast studio, like we've been open for like 4 years, but this year is the first, like 2 months ago, is the first time where me and the co-owner Nolan started doing like decent. Like it was always like, we're paying bills for the business and we're paying our house bills, so we're good, but we're not like, making any money really, but we're good. We're our own bosses, but we're not like killing it. In the last couple of months, it's been like, dude, I'm putting some money in savings. Like this is crazy. Nice. And you start realizing with like anything creative you do, with like stand up or whatever, not like we chase money, but you think about that so much that I'm doing this. Like I started doing clean comedy. That's why I did a dry bar, is you couldn't get booked coming up if you weren't clean. Especially like I'm Latino, but I look super white, and being in like Seattle was like all white dudes. So it's like so hard to get booked anywhere. And it's like, well, if I can do clean comedy, and then people find out that I actually have a Hispanic background, so I can connect with a little bit of a different audience, like I can kind of at least get a foot in. But it was like, it was all because of money at the end of the day, or bookings or whatever. Because I'm like, do I just want to be better, or am I trying to make a living doing this? And then I just started feeling like when I played music, I played like death metal. I didn't give a shit. I was like, I'll play what we like, and people that like us will find us. Yeah. But with comedy, I go at it like, I want everyone to like me, and it's not realistic. And I'm less of myself, and I'm less like, it just doesn't feel real. And it's like, am I acting as a comedian, or am I being a comedian? And now that I'm not chasing money because I have a business that gives me the money, it's like, okay, what do I want to be creatively, and just do that. So I'm saying no to more shows that are like on the road that I would lose money on, because to me before it was like, that's what you're supposed to do. You lose money for 20 years and then one day you make money. And it's like, yeah, but I'm not happy. And I'd rather do spots in town and work on my set and do this. And sometimes I'll take those gigs, but it was like 3 weekends a month I was doing it. And now it's like, and like, I don't know. It's just, I realized that like, if money isn't an object, what would you, the Alan Watts quote, that changed everything for me. That guy's, oh my God. And he was just like, what would you do with your life if money wasn't an object? And I started doing it all, and then you realize you start kind of chasing money with it. And it's like, no. Become an expert in that field, money will come. And just don't focus on it. Focus on being good, being unique, being yourself. And so I feel like recently with comedy, I've been feeling that because the business is better, which in turn made my mental health get a lot better, because I wasn't using my creative outlet for this gross thing, which is to make money, which is not bad. It's good to make money. But you know what I mean? Like, it's like, why am I so clean? All my friends were like, bro, you're so funny, but you're not that guy. And it's true. I'm not like this super clean comic guy. Then when my audience sees me and they hear me telling a regular story, they're like, oh, I thought you were clean. It just fucks everything up. You know what I mean? Because I said, oh my God, in the special, and they were like, that's blasphemous, because it was a very clean. Like even that is, okay, wow. Okay. Right?
That's hard.
Yeah. So it's like, I was happy that I could do that skill, but then it's like, but I'm getting the wrong audience. And then they feel betrayed, because they're like, oh, I thought you were this clean comic guy. And the people that would like me are like, oh, I don't like those clean idiots. And it's like, Isn't
that but I feel like Bob Saget is a good example of that. Like everyone thought he was like super clean father, but then when you go see stand up, it's like, oh dude, this is like.
Yeah.
But I guess everyone just got used to it. I don't know.
Yeah, but a lot of people didn't like it.
Yeah.
And I'm not as dirty as him at all. I'm just like, I just swear a lot. I'm not, but it's like people don't like hearing swearing a lot. And I just talk like that, and it's funny. But it was like I felt like I was just being disingenuous. And I was never that with music. I was never like, let's play what they would want to hear. Like people are like, if you guys sang more, it's like, fuck it, we're screaming. I don't care. Like that's what we do. But it's like, so with everything else art-wise, like why don't I have that same, like fuck off, leave me alone. I'm doing it my way, not in a bad way. It's just like why am I going to be creative for you if this isn't for you? This is for me and the people that feel what I feel. And I felt like honestly, until I started making money with the business, I wasn't able to take that step back because it's like you're chasing I'll work these gigs if I can make this money. What do you want me to be clean? Want me to put on a gorilla costume? You know what I'm saying? Like, sure, dog, I need money. I need to pay my rent. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like one of those things where, having a lot, what I realized, like having a lot of problems, when those problems are still sitting on top of me, you can't see the solutions that are right there in front of you. And so, like, it sounds like you kind of had that, like, once the bills were starting to get taken care of, then you start to see like, oh, these are the actual solutions to like the dreams and goals I actually want to pursue. Yeah. Like it just uncluttered, like getting rid of that money problem or alleviating that money problem has allowed your vision to open up and see more broadly.
Yeah, basically. It's like I'm not chasing, like, it's like you're not painting a picture to sell it. You're painting it because you want to paint it. Yeah. And if someone buys it, cool. Right. But I'm painting this regardless. Yeah. And that's why even the true crime thing was just like, oh, I think I just love this thing. And I'm trying to listen to myself more with like, what do you love? And just do that. Yeah. And other people, like I love the New York Knicks basketball. Like I go to New York every month and see, like I lose money to go watch. I love them so much and they're so bad. But whenever somebody else has a Knicks thing on, we like connect just by being like, you like this bad team, what? Yeah. And they like it too. And it's like, those are my people though. And it's like, if I just pretended like, oh, I like NFL football because more people like football, I'm not being real. I might get more people to watch me, but I'm not being real. And I feel like I was doing that with comedy. It's like, why can't I just be myself and connect with these smaller group of people that are diehards? Why do I care if I don't? No, you're not gonna have millions of people watching you, but you're gonna have 10,000 that literally love you. And like that's what I'd rather have. And it takes a while to realize that because, especially when you're around everyone else that's trying to do some gnarly shit and people start popping around you. It's like, yeah, but they're so busy. And do you want their pop? Do you want to live what they're doing? And it's like, I've been realizing that too. But again, it's like, I'm not doing great money wise, but just not having to do content or anything for money completely changed my perspective of why am I even fucking doing it? Like, why am I being a clean comic? Yeah. Like, I don't want to be.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just weird.
Yeah, that's cool that you're going through that. That's cool growth that you're having.
Yeah, thank you. I feel weird though, because it feels like I'm having a midlife crisis.
Is it growth or a midlife crisis?
Yeah, it's for real. I have that thought a lot. Am I growing or am I losing my fucking mind?
Like, actually just going crazy. Or both.
Yeah.
Let's chat about mental health and depression. So that is part of what this podcast is about. And I've had my own personal experience about it. I've talked about it on the show, about how it's helped me and continues to help me. So I just want to get more an insight on how it helps you. Like, what is it, what your struggles are, and when it started, when you started smoking at 14. Yeah. So like, when did the depression or anxiety, what is your
anxiety was my big one for a while. Because I guess depression, someone said it's like that quote, like depression is when you're focused on the past, anxiety is when you're focused on the future. If you're present, you're good. So I was like, I always think about that. Like, but I was always anxious about the future. And it's honestly, it sounds so lame. It's like being scared of the dark. I'm just afraid of the people around me dying. Like, I'm afraid of, like, when I really think about losing my sister or my mom or my business partner or my friends, like, everyone around you you're going to lose at some point. And when I think about that, it fucking kills me. Like, it rocks me. And I try not even about my death. When I'm gone, I'm gone. Like, It's like I go to sleep. I think when you die, it's kind of the same when you go to sleep. But maybe like a DMT trip, you might see some more cool shit. But it's like everything around me that's gone forever. It's just like that drives me crazy. And knowing it's gonna happen. Yeah. Is like, just like, when is the bomb gonna go off?
Yeah, just the clock is ticking. Have you experienced a lot of death at all?
No.
Oh, wow.
That's the other thing. It's not like my grandfather died when I was mega young. I remember when I woke up, this is like the worst too. I remember when I woke up, I think I was like 10 years old, 11, something super young. And my mom knocked on my door and was like, hey, we knew he was sick. She's like, your grandfather passed away last night, so you're not gonna go to school today, just a heads up. And she closed the door. My first thought was like, fuck yeah, I don't have to go to school today. Like, before, and then I like laid there, I remember acting sad to myself and not knowing like how I should feel right now. Oh, but wow. I remember being like, I should be sad. And then like making myself feel sad. And until I saw my dad and until I saw my family reaction, it was like the Kobe thing. I swear to God, when Kobe died, I saw the news like, fuck, that sucks. And I put my phone down and then I saw the world and then you sit back and then you really break down what is death? Why is this so gnarly? Yeah. And then it's just like, oh yeah, I'm a huge hoop fan. We heard the last words from this guy. Like you start seeing how we see Jordan get older and we're not gonna see Kobe, and then it just starts hitting you. But I feel like I had this weird, I don't know if I put up a wall because I'm so scared of it, but when I notice it, I feel like the levity, I guess, of how real this situation is. And I just don't right away. And I'm afraid of feeling that with people that are like, if I'm feeling this connection to Kobe after I really think about it, what about my dad? What about my mom? Yeah. And like, I don't know. And I see friends around me that like lost their brothers and sisters, and I'm like, I couldn't fucking imagine, dude. How are you even walking around today? You know what I mean? What
are you doing that triggers those? Like you just seeing someone with their sibling or like what?
Late night. If I'm awake at night, it's one reason weed helps. So I mean, for real, like I go to sleep. Like I smoke until I'm like, my eyes are burning and I'm watching TV or I'm working on a project and I might lay down for 5 or 10 minutes before I'm asleep. But that's one reason I stopped taking Adderall. I was taking Adderall just because I think too much or whatever to help me organize some shit. And it worked, but it was waking me up at night and then I'd have anxiety. Because when it's 3 a.m. and the world is asleep and then you're just starting thinking about that, it's harder to shake it. Like right now I could say it all out loud, I'm fine. Daylight out, life's around, I can call them, they can answer, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But at night, it feels so real. So if I'm awake super late at night, and I don't have like a distraction, that's when it's like real bad. Like that's why weed is like my jam. Like it really does, beyond help. Like no dreams. I barely remember my dreams, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I stopped smoking weed for like a month and my dreams were like, wow. They were like, I have nightmares.
Yeah.
And yeah, they basically came back. But to your point of your family, that's a really tough anxiety to deal with. Have you ever like talked to a therapist or anything about it? Just the weed? When did the weed kick in for that specific feeling?
So I used to get it really bad in the morning, but it was weird because I would get it if I had to wake up early for like where I was like a welder. I'd wake up at like 4 a.m. and it was still like dark out, and it just felt like, I don't know, if it just felt like off. My body felt off, and then I would start getting anxious, and it would feel like I had to throw up, and like, but then it was like it wasn't from thinking about that. But then me feeling that feeling would slowly bring my brain to think of, you know what I mean? Because it's like, oh my God, I'm getting anxious. I hope I don't think about that shit, because that's what I think about and then it just turns it on. Mm-hmm. So it was just like, but it just happened. I remember it didn't happen until it happened. I remember it's like claustrophobic. I was never claustrophobic. I sat in the back of a 2-door car when I was like 24, and I just felt my world go to like a pin, and I like hit my buddy like, yo, get me out of this car. And he looked at me like, what's wrong? And I was so embarrassed with the girl. I was so embarrassed. Like, oh no, I forgot something inside. I'm gonna drive. I'll meet you guys there. And just walking inside being like, what was that? Like, I've never had that feeling. And to this day, I mean, there was a story of Dave Chappelle was with, it was like Fahim Anwar was like, bro, I was at the Comedy Store and Dave Chappelle and Joe Rogan pulled up in this little Porsche and I jumped in the back in this tiny car and I was squeezed in and we drove to this restaurant, told stories the whole way, and it sounded like an amazing story. All I could think about was, I couldn't get into that car. Like Chappelle's my God. I'm like, can you guys pull over and talk out here? Like I couldn't get into that car, and it's like it's that bad. But it's like I never had that situation of claustrophobic. Like on planes, I only sit aisle. I pay extra to sit aisle.
Oh wow!
I cannot sit in the window or like whatever.
Oh, so could you sit in the front seat of a 2-door car?
Yeah. I don't know if it's I need the door there to get out or what. I don't know what it is, but I've had my buddies put me in the back of their car and be like, dude, let me try this. just drive down the street and let me see if I can, and I feel it hitting me, and I'm trying to fight, and I'm like between them in the front, sitting in the back, like,
wow.
I don't know what it is. I don't know if in my past life I was trapped somewhere, but I feel like this, I can't explain, like I have zero, at least with the anxiety, I can talk myself down. With the claustrophobia, it is like, it feels like I go into like a primal, like get me out, I can't think until I'm out of this situation.
Oh man,
like it's yeah.
You would be if this was like a movie and you got locked up in what you got, the casket. Have you seen those scenes?
Oh my god, that shit. I can't. I walk out of a movie if
Really?
if someone's buried alive. That's the other thing that freaks me out. I don't want to
or in a trunk or something. Oh
yeah.
my god.
Well, I think about like when you die. Like you're either getting buried or you're getting burned with your body, whatever. And like I'm like, I fucking hope your soul leaves your body, dude. Because if not, I'm getting burned alive. Like, what if like you're still in there, but they can't tell? And now it's like, oh, we're gonna bury this. Like, yo, burn me at least.
So all the souls are buried underground.
I literally think that sometimes. Like, what if you're just trapped in your body and they all think you're dead, but you can still hear? I don't. Because we don't fucking know.
We don't know, huh?
So yeah,
We could have trapped all of our family and friends.
I know.
Oh wow, that's awful.
Right?
That's really awful.
I know, and I think about like what happens when you really die, and like I watch like these videos about people with these thermal cameras and being like, does something leave your body? Because they talk about you do get a little bit. I don't know if it's a myth or not, but they say you get lighter when you die.
Lighter, like your body weight?
Yeah, and they say it's because that's like whatever. It's a tiny percentage, but people say that's your soul leaving your body. And I forget that it's like one of those like, is that real? Because like something is in us right now. When that leaves, everything weighs something, I think.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't fucking know.
I was reading this book where the souls get transferred into objects.
Ooh.
And there's like these people who show up right before someone's gonna die, and they collect the object. Like the object is glowing, and they collect the object, and they're supposed to give the object it goes to someone else. So the soul gets transferred. Like basically, that's how that person lives on. They live on through first through the object, but then the object
then
goes
transfers to the person.
Yeah, so
like a baby.
It could be any. It doesn't matter. Like that, there was no. It didn't specify like any ages. It's just like whoever. It would glow for the right person. So like the person, there's like this deaf person who would come and take they saw it glowing and they take it, and then they would put it somewhere in their store. They usually own stores, and this is a whole book. And then when people would come shopping, it would glow for the right people, and so they're like, oh, you should buy this object.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
I do think that there is something after this, though. Like that's why I'm not like that freaked out. But I think this is just like a different. It's like what is it? Like a different. Like I don't know. People say that like we can't see a certain dimension. I think it might be like that. Like we're on this dimension right now, and then when you go to this other area, you're just on a different dimension that we can't see.
Are they like here on this planet, or
I don't know? Because there's too many people. If that all died, if they were on the planet, I'd be like they'd be everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, but
Well, you showed there was on one of your videos. There's a ghost. You saw a ghost, or someone you were with saw a ghost. It was a balloon that was.
Yeah. Oh my god. So this is so cool because like it was at a bowling alley comedy club place I went to. I forgot the state it was in, but it was this family just lost the grandfather who started the business, and they had a party for him. I think that balloon was like left over from the party for him, like or his son's birthday party, because there was like 3 generations of these people, this guy's name. And his son was doing paperwork. And I guess you can see in the video the balloon like moving across the room, and then it like stops, and then it like goes like around the corner without bumping into anything or whatever. And they were saying there was no draft in there. It's like a closed. They even showed me the room. It's like a completely closed off like kitchen area room, and it was just very weird. But I believe in a lot of that shit.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe in it. I saw the video. It looked real.
Yeah.
It looked like you said someone like grabbed it and walked out the room and came back in with it.
Yeah.
And it just did it all by itself. Yeah, I don't know. It's like I had a cat who she passed away right before COVID. But I used to feel like her and my grandma gave her to me, were connected. And then from that, I thought my cat and my grandpa were connected. Shortly after my cat passed away, my grandpa passed away. Like he lived, I don't know, 15, 20 years longer than my grandmother.
Oh, wow.
And like, but I remember when she passed away, like he was crying. I'd never seen him cry before. And he was so sad. And I was like, oh man, I hope Grandpa doesn't go soon. But he didn't.
Yeah.
He stuck around. And I remember when my cat passed, I was like, I feel like Grandpa was probably gonna go now too. So that's the only thing I have that makes me think of like maybe there is some sort of
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it, but maybe the soul maybe like how in the book that I read where the souls get transferred into an object, maybe my grandma's soul got transferred into my cat, and then that's what like kept my grandpa alive for however long he lived and passed away recently before COVID. But yeah, so like that would be my only experience. So I guess maybe I do believe it. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Do I believe in supernatural or?
I also think there could be stuff that happens that I'm just too dumb to notice. I mean, like they could do something because they don't have like all this power. Say they move something, and it's like, huh, and you just keep going. Like I've been on the highway before. And you watch those videos where like someone saw a person and they weren't there. It's just like I think I see people all the time on the highway. Like I would never be like, was that a ghost?
Yeah.
I was like, no, that's probably just someone walking down the highway.
Yeah.
But maybe it was a ghost, and I just was driving by, just like didn't even notice.
Ghost of the 101.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't know if ghosts are real. I'm fine with them not. That would be kind of creepy and scary though. I think that's why I don't want them to be real, is because I think that it's just like to see a balloon just like randomly walking out of the door.
That's why I know I believe in aliens, but I don't want in our lifetime to have contact. Like this is so silly, but I remember I was in Burbank like 2 years ago and they were shooting off these satellites, and I was just at my sister's house. I look up in the air and I see this thing, and I just see all these little bloop bloop like, things pop out of it, and I started freaking out like, what the fuck is that shit? And I was looking it up on Google. I couldn't find anything about it, so I called my sister outside. We're looking at it. And for a moment, I was like, is this a fucking alien? Like, what is happening? I know it sounds silly, but when you have that realization, like, I'm looking online, there's nothing that says anything should be in the sky right now, and these things over the city, and then I realized, like, oh, I am so far from the moment that I'm ready for, like, that Men in Black moment where everyone's on the roof of that building, like, come, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
It's like, nah, get out of here, dude. Like, my mom, where's my mom? Where's my dad? Like, I started freaking out. Then we found out it was these satellites, and it's like, oh yeah, I never want to be around for that shit. Like, everything's gonna change. I don't want to be around for, like, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
And ghosts, like, I love true crime, but I'm not into, like, paranormal sites because I don't want to connect with that energy. Like if something brutal happens somewhere, like I'll check it out, but I'm not bringing a Ouija board. I'm not doing any.
Ooh.
I definitely believe in like, I don't know about like demon. Just like there's some shit. There's some like, this is weird. Like my nephew, I listen to him. Like he started acting weird. My sister and her husband lived in Minneapolis for a while. And his kid, he was a great kid. He just started acting like really shitty out of nowhere, and everyone's like, well, he's just getting older. But then my sister, who like his aunt, my sister, who like she's like, no, I know this kid. He's definitely just something's off. And they weren't sure what was up. And then they ended up moving. They found out that his playroom, someone before that lived in that house committed suicide in that room. And this kid spent like all his time in that room. And you're just like, there's gotta be something where this great kid never had any issues in his new playroom. And they moved to, now they're in Oceanside. And he's fucking amazing again. And he had moments where he was like swearing at my mom. It's just like being not himself. Like you're just like, what is going on with this kid? And it's like, I don't know how much I believe. Maybe he was just having a rough time because his family moved to a new city. But it's just like, I don't know, man. That was weird. And they found out that the dude died there.
Yeah.
And in a dark way of like suicide.
Yeah.
The energy with that. It's just like, I don't want to connect. Like that shit does freak me out. Like I definitely believe in, because like, I don't know.
Bad energy being passed along. I mean, even with like, I think about that with like the plantations and slaves.
Oh, I bet.
Like all that shit. There was this museum I went to, I forget, somewhere south of the 10 here, but they had built a ship that was supposed to be like a replica of one of the ships that took the slaves.
Like full size?
No, and it was just like the front part of it too. So it was like a smaller port. It wasn't full size. It was like a smaller.
But you could see like where they like were.
The sleeping area. And I only went like halfway. I started to go in, but just like the way it was like everything was life size. But yeah, it was just like a portion of the ship to where I think it was a replica of where they would sleep. But I couldn't even go. Just with that alone, I was like, ugh. Like it just.
Yeah, I know. People are evil. That's the other thing I realize. Like, and it sucks because like I mean, obviously with the true crime shit, it's just like, oh, there's so many stories. It's not like there's 5 of these people. It's like hundreds and hundreds of stories. And this is just from like the 1920s to like now that I've been looking at, like the last 100 years. And then you start realizing, like, I looked at a couple of like older ones of like, you know, like this, you know, something, you know, so this, there was one of these workers, they wanted to have it like unionized and like whatever, and they just all got massacred and killed or whatever, and then they just have a little site for them and nothing, no one went to jail, nothing happens, and you start realizing like how dark is our entire existence of a species, like from legit like beginning of caveman, of like, hey, we're gonna be probably getting eaten, half of us, by these crazy animals, and like doing whatever, to the, like you watch like how places be, like nowhere became a place without like thousands of people dying at that location, and then you build a town on that. So like the energy of like everywhere is built on like, you know what I mean? It's so wild to think is there a nice place? Is there like a spot where it's like, you know, we all just kind of found this place and we were cool with each other? And
somewhere in the ocean, probably. Somewhere where humans can't go.
Yeah, for real.
People can't go. Yeah, it's wild to think that. It is, and yeah, I think we do pass on the energy, like even us living, even without the tragedy. That's why I meditate. When I took this meditation class, and they're like, thank you for meditating, because that energy hopefully will pass along to someone else.
Definitely.
And then other people, you know, like we're all just like a domino effect of being polite or just not, or being reasonable, I guess, you know?
Yeah.
Not really being polite, just being an understanding person.
I believe it's like, but it's also when you think about how negative and shitty everybody is, you also think like, well, how great are other people to overcome all of those bad people? Like how on the other side, how much better, if negative is a 10, then we're an 11 on the good side, because it always feels like good wins. And it just makes you feel like, oh, people must be incredible, because you got people skinning and burying people over here. What's the equivalent of good on that side?
Yeah.
And you see people that are like helping out, just like people that need help, even just like, it could be, it doesn't have to be like financially. It's like, you know, I always say one reason I try to leave my house more is I can help people more walking down the street than I can sitting at home. Like you see someone's car broken down, help them push it to the corner. And then it's like those small things, and then you start realizing like, you know, like I'm terrible at asking for help. I can't ever. Like I move by myself with couches and I can't ask for help. But when people help me, it's like they're hugging you and being like, I got you, bro. Like, come here, like accept this.
It's like a gift.
Yeah.
Almost.
And I feel like there's more people like that. So I try to be on that side of everything. And that's why I even try to be like a better person, because I see how bad in the true crime some people are. And it's like, okay, I want to step up and be on the other side of that. Like, I don't want kids necessarily, but I would love to help kids that are coming up that are in the position I was as a kid, like trying to join a gang or being angry and negative and being like, nah, dude, don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, be the Shane for somebody else, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But recognize, like, let me help so I see that, and it's like, but yeah, that's the other part about when you're depressed, you're at home, you can't help anybody. You're just sitting here, and it's like, you know, you need to help yourself before you help other people. And then, but I want to help other people, so help yourself. It's like this force of like, make sure you're good, because you're going to carry a lot of weight for other people, what you want, you know? But
also you're at a point where you can recognize that. Like a lot of people don't recognize that they're not good. Like just going through life being depressed and not even recognizing that. I think that takes like that is another level of like the energy that we pass along, where people don't even realize they're in some shit.
It's embarrassing. Especially like, I don't know, like it probably might be for you too, being like a black female saying like, hey, I'm bummed or something's wrong right now. Like just being a guy being like, hey, like anybody just saying you feel weak, and it's not a weakness. It's like, hey, I'm going through this thing and it sucks and I might not know why it's happening. Might not know how to fix it, but just saying I'm depressed or anxious feels like I'm lesser. Like if you could be a 10, I'm an 8 because I have this, this, and this. And it's like, no, if you can cope with those things, you can still be a 10. You can still have them, but like you might even be stronger because now you have this power.
Yeah,
like when I start getting anxious, I know how to stop that.
Right.
And it's like, I feel like this fucking, like I stomp it out and I love it. I love the feeling of like, oh man, I just got rid of that anxiety.
Yeah.
And like 5 years ago, I couldn't, and now I can. But it's feeling like that, and telling your friends, hey, I'm kind of a little down right now. It's good, because when they tell me that, I instantly am there for them. And it's like, let them be there for you too, man. Like it's good for them to help you when you're down because you need your friends. Like, you know, like, I don't know. And I forget that because, like, you know, as we get older, we don't get hugged as much by our parents and by siblings, you know what I'm saying? And it helps. Like, it really does. And it's like, you know, I try to hug my friends more and like be that more and realize it helps me too. When I'm hugging you, it's also helping me.
Yeah.
Because I'm giving you this positivity and I feel your actual love back.
Yeah.
So it's like recognizing that shit. But yeah, but I don't know. But weed does help because it does help me be less in my head about it allows me to be more honest in a way of like, I'm high, who cares? It's like when you're drunk, you have low, it's like, oh, I can go talk to this person. It's like if I'm high, I'm like, yo, bro, I'm just having a fucking rough one, dog.
Yeah.
And they're just like, really? It's like, I don't know why. I don't know. It's stupid. I know. And then, but that gets you to talk.
Yeah.
Rather than I'm just gonna sit at home.
Right. I enjoy, not that I enjoy, but when I collide with someone who is being just really obnoxious and I recognize it, or someone who's just like either really controlling, like red flags, anything, just recognizing that, and just being grateful that it's not me. Grateful that like maybe that was a version of me like 5 years ago, whatever, but it's not me now. Just being like, wow, like I've grown a lot. Like you said, it feels like.
Yeah. Yeah, but it also feels like we're leveling up a little bit because I'm 37 and I'm like, okay, so I'm definitely an adult. Because I'm in your 20s, like, I'm an adult, I think. And like, dude, I'm almost like an old, like I'm 37, bro. Like, but then it's like, okay, this is who I am. Would I want to meet if I met me, would I be stoked? Because like when I moved to Seattle, one reason I moved is it's hard to be yourself, obviously, where you grew up. Because everyone's like, oh, you peed your pants, you're the pee pants kid. It's like, so when I moved, it's like no one knows me. I'm gonna go to a new city, I don't know one person. Everyone that meets me is gonna have their opinion on me based on how I act to them from right now. So let me be genuinely 100% myself. Let me say the things I feel, and then there's no questions about I like him or I don't like him, or I connect with him or not. And I really felt like that helped me become myself, was kind of leave it. Like I wanted to change, but it's hard unless you really, have a new scene. And then it's like, okay, cool, now this is the real version of me. And be the person that you're like jealous of. Like sometimes I see like some people, I'm just like, man, I wish I was that person. Like, okay, what about that person makes you want to be them? And if it's just their style, then fucking buy those shoes. They didn't make them, they bought them. You know what I mean? Like, and then if it's like other things about them, like, oh no, I just like the way he carries himself. Like, well, maybe try carrying yourself, not just like, don't copy them, but inspire yourself to maybe like do this less or do that more, or like, and then as you get older, you realize like, I think I'm kind of dope. And I think that I would like to meet myself. And I think I would like to, and that also helps with the depression, realizing like, I do like the person I'm becoming. I still need work, but I'm digging this. Like, I wouldn't trade my life with anybody. And I would have up to like 2 years ago. You know what I mean? Even as good as it was, you'd say like, I would never trade my life with anybody. Then it's like, well, who? And now I feel like I'm on the cusp of doing some cool shit. It's like, no, I've been working for this pop, so I don't want to trade before the pop. Like, but that just took, effort. And weed is rough because I smoke so much, and I feel like sometimes I abuse it because it's so good. Oh.
How do you abuse it?
Because I'm high all day, but nothing bad is happening. But I feel like I abuse the like, sometimes I'm too high where like I'm with my mom and I'm like, fuck, I wish I could be more present, but I feel like I'm just not 100% there because I smoked a little too much. Or like oil. I remember one reason I like flower more, when I smoke like oil or dabs or whatever, I'm foggy as fuck. Yeah. Like I am so different.
It's way different.
And with weed, I feel like I can at least keep my brain where I want it to be. But I do love weed so much, and my life isn't bad, so it's hard to like just dial it back a little bit. And I feel like I wish I could. But like I don't know, I enjoy the first bowl of the day is like my favorite. That's like my favorite thing. And I hate that I love it so much, so I feel bad, but then you meet other people that feel it, you're like, right?
Dude, my vape is like right by my pillow.
Right, yeah.
If I wake up in the middle of the night, it's gonna be in my mouth for sure.
Oh yeah, I have my bowl packed. When I'm on the road, I have my vape in my hand in a hotel room bed, because I'm like, it's like having a Xanax in your pocket if you're angry. It's like, I might not be smoking it, but having it, I'm good. Yeah. Like if I leave, like I always have weed in my car or on me. If I leave and I don't have it on me, I might not smoke that time, but the whole time I'm a little anxious, being like, I have no weed on me at all. And it's like, who cares? You have weed, you have a ton at home. It's like, but it's not on me. Like,
when I go for walks, if I go and then realize I don't have my weed, I'm like,
right?
I wasn't even gonna like smoke it, but now I don't have it, and I don't want to walk because I don't even have my weed.
Thank you. I'm with you. I'll take the dog for a walk. Half the time I'll take the dog for a walk. I bring the weed. I don't even smoke it because I'm focused on other shit. But then when I don't have it, I'm like, yo, we gotta fucking get back.
We gotta
bro.
go back.
We gotta go back because I'm dying.
I wasn't even planning on smoking, but like, yeah, it does. Yeah, that's true. I never really thought about that, but I do that.
Yeah, but it's like I don't like. I'm going to Italy with my family on this amazing trip. I'm excited, and like. All I'm researching is how can I bring weed with me? And it's like, and online everyone's like, are you stupid? But I'm like, yes, can you tell me for the stupid people, how do you do it? Like, please, because I'm I'm like hitting people up and my sister, like my family's trying to be like, you can drink. I'm like, it's not the same.
It's not.
It's not even close. And it's like, but I hate that I have that, like, if I'm gonna fucking go with it and I'm gonna chance going to jail to enjoy my vacation.
Is it not legal there, or
it's like it's kind of legal, but it's not like the worst. It's not like I'm gonna face like some Russia shit, but it's also not good. So I'm just nervous. It's like
even a cartridge you couldn't even get by with the.
I'm bringing cartridges and I'm gonna vacuum seal them in a bag. Okay. And I'm not going to open that vacuum sealed bag until I get there.
And so you're going to put that in like a check-in?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to put it in, because I go through TSA here all the time with just weed, and it's easy here. I'm worried about when I go there, like when you go through customs. I've just never been overseas.
Yeah.
So like if you go through customs, like do you go through the scanners again? Do you go? I have no idea.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm gonna put that in my toiletries at that point with a bunch of just random. You know what I mean? I think it might just blend in, and if you can't smell it, I
want to know how this goes.
I'll tell you. You'll know how
goodness.
You'll see a story of me fucking. God, man, it just gets me so nervous. But that's the thing is, I can't just not smoke for those 3 weeks. It's like
3 weeks, yeah.
Right?
Oh my goodness.
Right? It's like I couldn't imagine that. And it's like I did it for 2.5 months when I was a kid, but that was because these giant dudes with their faces tattooed were gonna whoop my ass. And I was terrified. I know after the first couple days, it's fine. Like my buddy's a huge pothead. He's on like 3 months right now. And but then it's like sometimes I'm jealous. Like we just hung out and I kept going to hand him the joint. He's like, no, I'm good. And I get like, I was like, fuck, I wish I could be that dude. But then I was like, no, I like being the other side. I like smoking weed with people. Like, I know this is silly. If Snoop Dogg was in here right now, I could hang. And it's like, I like that. Like, and I know it's corny to say, but it's like, I can't be out smoked. Like, I'm on that level. Like, when I find people that smoke hard, we're homies. Like, we are best friends. Where it's like, you can smoke all day. Oh, bro, let's go kick it. That's how most of my friendships were growing up when I was 14. I smoked every day. And I hang out with like everybody. Because it doesn't matter what your background is or what you listen to music-wise or whatever. If you smoke weed, you're connecting.
Yeah.
It's just such a, and I just love that about weed. And as corny as weed culture is, it's, I don't know, people that smoke weed, you always like offer somebody, or like when I'm on the road and someone smells it on me and like, that's cool. I'm like, and they're like, it's so hard to get it out here. I'm like, I'll be right back. I just give them like a gram because I always have a lot on me.
Oh, you're that guy.
I love, because someone did it to me
you're
once.
You're like the bass player, so you're a bass player. So
yeah, because someone did it to me once and it made me so happy. It made me so happy where I had no weed and someone was like, oh, bro, fucking here. And they're like, do you want money? They're like, no, you're good. And I just couldn't fathom, like, you just made me so happy for like nothing. Like what?
It's a really good gift to like receive weed, like because it's literally money. Like weed is really expensive, but also it's just like that was really kind. Like you didn't have to do that. You're so kind.
And if you have weed, that means you smoke it, and now you're taking stuff out of what you could be smoking to give to me. Yeah. To not even smoke with you, just to like leave with it. It always just felt so like at shows when people give me money, it's nice. When someone gives me like weed, I feel like they know me more. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you listened. You know what I mean? Because cash is something to everybody, but if you give me weed, like and it's cool because when my business partner, he's like, hey, I worked on this podcast. They gave me a bunch of weed. I said yes to give it to you. And it's like, you're so great. Thank you. I have friends like that, and it's like, and I don't mind being a weed. Like sometimes I get embarrassed about it, but it's like, no, I love weed. It makes me happy. It makes me. Like, I can't wait to, like, I smoked on the way here, I'm gonna smoke on the way home, I'm gonna get to my computer, I'm gonna smoke again. It's just like, I don't know, I'm happier every day because of it, and it sounds so stupid, But it's like my whole life in New York, it was like bad. Like I'd be arrested all the time for weed. It was like, it's like an unlawful possession of marijuana, and it just kills you. It's like a $175 ticket. And when you're broke, it's just like, we call it the weed tax. It's like, hopefully you only get taxed once a year and you get your ticket and you move on. But then it's just like, why, like you smell like it. And then it's like, why am I always like breaking the law? I'm not a lawbreaker. And I moved to Seattle where it was legal, and you're just like, oh, I'm a law-abiding citizen. I just smoke weed.
Yeah.
And before I felt like a criminal, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know if that stigma stuck with me, because people that drink don't have that feel.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like they can drink in front of my nephew, for instance. Everyone will drink in front of him, and then they're like, I'm gonna go smoke weed in the car. Like you can smoke. I'm like, I'm not smoking weed in front of it. Like you're out of your mind.
Yeah.
And even for my mom, I'm like, I don't want mom to see me hitting the blunt. Like I just feel weird, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know why. It's like alcohol is so much worse.
Yeah, I'm the same way, but I didn't think about that. Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know why I care so much. Like kids see their people drinking at baseball games, and like no one is hiding the beer in front of the kid.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, why? And if anything, you'd rather tell the kid, you should smoke weed over doing that. Wait till you're 25 or wherever your brain develops, but don't, like drinking is like way worse.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
You reminded me of this Grateful Dead concert that I went to, and I had all my weed taken from me. Because I went by myself. I was meeting up with people, but I went by myself, so the cops switched to my line. So it was all just regular security, and then the police officer actually switched to my line and then thoroughly checked me down and had me throw everything away.
That sucks.
And I was so bummed. Like I was so my energy went down. Like so.
Yeah.
It was a Grateful Dead concert.
I was just gonna say, what are you talking about?
And so I get there, and then this dude, so I'm sitting, and I went to go visit two different people at two different sections. So I went upstairs, and I was sitting with my friend and his family. And then I see this guy with a Ziploc bag of buds, and I'm like, dude, how did he get in with all these?
Right, like a whole bag?
A whole bag. And then I was just like, excuse me, sir, all my weed was taken from me on the way in. Would you mind, like, if I had a bud? And then he was like, oh, sure, I got you. And then he turned around. He turned around for so long that I thought maybe he just said that to be nice, and then we were just like, fuck off.
Yeah.
But like after like 5 minutes or so, he turned back around, and he took out a little bit of weed, and then he gave me the entire Ziploc bag. And I was like,
oh my God.
What? I
It's
had
like,
more than I even came with.
I was just gonna say like that. That's what I mean. Like you don't understand. Like people don't realize like weed people are so nice. Yeah. Like the culture with weed is so like, it's so nice. Like I like go, I don't know, I go out of my way for like a couple. I was in Colorado, but they were with their kids and they were outside, and I'm like, you can buy it, but it was like in a weird area. I was in the middle of nowhere. And they saw me smoking a joint, and I told them I was a comic. We talked for a minute, and they were super cool. And I asked them, like, do you guys have anything? Because they kept talking about it. And they're like, no, we're going to try to go to the dispensary. We got the kids with us, whatever. So I was like, I'll be right back. I was doing the Gateway show. And I ran to my room. I gave them like a full jar I had. And just the look on their faces, it made me so happy. It's like, that was only like I got it for free because I got it for doing the show. But it was like a $30 jar. And you think about like, to them, it was like $150 because they have their kids. It's like, I just changed whatever for them. And someone gave me that for free. I just kind of passed along this good vibe because I remember I was happy when I got it. And I was like, oh my God, yeah, dude. And then when I saw them need it, I was like, I have plenty. I'm going home tomorrow. And then just to pass it on, it's like, I don't know. I feel like weed people, I know what it feels like to not have weed, and it sucks. And I think that we all know that.
Yeah.
And it's like, if I see anyone hurt, and it's like, even like a homeless guy comes up to me, I'm like, let me smoke half this joint, you can get the other half. I'm not gonna go back and forth with you, but I'll give you the other half. Just let me smoke it down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and so I get it. So I don't know. I love that, like the love of it, and like everything, it's just, I don't know. So whenever I think sometimes like I wish I didn't smoke so much, it's like, why? Like, why? You're fine.
You're a good guy.
Yeah, you're good.
You're a good guy.
Thank you.
You're good. We can start wrapping it up soon. Is there anything else that you want to add? Sometimes we talk a lot about depression or anxiety. Sometimes it's just a little bit, but
How long have you been smoking?
I think I started was I 21? I think I was like 21 or so.
So what got you to? Cause obviously I was like 14. Obviously high school. Everyone's like, weed.
Yeah.
So at 21, when you're like, done with that shit, how did you get into it?
It's weird because I'm from Long Beach.
Okay.
And every Sunday, my friends, we would like go get some tacos and then go to someone's backyard, or go get some carne asada and go to someone's backyard. And they would all smoke and drink, and I would just sit there, be eating the carne asada and munching on it. And I never smoked. They never pressured me either.
You just didn't want to? You just didn't even...
I just felt, because I was going to church, like I was a Christian, and so even though my Christian friends were very much drinking and smoking, there was no judgment. Like I didn't care that they were doing it, and they didn't care that I wasn't doing it. It was like no one cared. But I didn't want to be like that Christian. Like I didn't want to do that. So fast forward to being 21, and I was living in, I must have been 23, because I was in New York. I moved to New York.
Okay. First time you smoked was in New York?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I believe so. I think I was at a party somewhere, and I feel like I was on a rooftop.
Nice,
which is dangerous because they don't have, not all the roofs there have, some of the roofs are just like, you can literally walk off the edge.
Not like a set-up rooftop for people, it's just like a roof.
Yeah, literally a roof. So that's what it was. And so I had to keep that in mind. I had to stay away from
I'm so scared of heights too. Ooh. When they were doing stand-up over here on those rooftops, there was like, there'd be like one bar that would like hold people, and people were like leaning on that one bar, like talking, and I'm in the middle of the roof, just like sitting there, just when's my set? Get me off this roof.
Ooh.
So like did they just hand you was it a joint, a blunt, a bowl?
It might have been a joint. I think.
Nice.
I think I had like the same reaction. She was like, I don't think I'm high. I'm not high. But then when I started getting anxious about being like falling over the edge, I was like, I'm definitely high, because I wasn't anxious about this before. I knew I wasn't gonna walk off the edge, but now I'm like, oh shit. And then I had another experience shortly after that where this guy, we watched, it was like a group of us, and he put on Adventure Time.
Nice.
And then he pulled out like this it was like a wooden box, and it had different like sections, and that's where he kept his weed like in different. Right. Yeah, and so he gave me like he gave us all like the full like rundown, like this is sativa, this is
damn, so okay, all right.
Yeah, and that was fun because then we just smoked and then watched. That was my first time watching Adventure Time, and then also learning about like the different strains.
Yeah.
So that was a fun New York moment as well. And then,
that's cool. I love New York.
And then from there you just get it delivered. The drug people come inside.
I know. So I was living in Astoria for like 6 months, like last year for a little bit. I was gonna try to move there, and that was the one thing I wasn't used to. Is like it felt like half baked. Like when the dude walks in, he had a backpack, he threw it in front, and I'm just sitting there laughing like, bro, I feel like this is the scene from the movie.
That's how it is.
And they pull out all the shit. Yeah.
You're from New York, right?
Yeah, I'm from Albany, upstate New York.
Okay. Yeah. When I experienced that, I was like, this is really, this is something out of a movie.
Yeah, and they have like a ton. It's like all I can think about is, aren't you scared to be walking around with all that shit? And they're like, no one cares out here. And then you realize like, yeah, it's fine. Like the cops don't even want to fucking fuck with people out there anymore. They're dealing with such real shit. Yeah. Like big cities, like in LA, especially. I love being out here because it's like you have to do something kind of rough to have like even a cop look at you, like driving wise. If you get pulled over out here, people speed by me in front of cops and the cops aren't doing shit. There's people on motorcycles doing wheelies by them and they're just like sitting there. So whenever I see anyone pulled over, it's like, what did you do? Yeah. Or is there something expired? But like I do. I do miss New York, but that was out here, the fact that you can just go to a store. It's still so crazy to me that you could do that. I know it sounds like we had it for a while already, but whenever I go on the road, it's like...
it's different everywhere,
It's so bad. Like, I was in Utah, it's zero. I mean, I was like, it's zero. They'll put you in jail. I go to Kansas, it's like they'll put you in jail. There's like a lot of states like that where it's
even smoke. So like smoking, having it.
Oh yeah,
nothing.
yeah.
Oh, man.
Which is like terrifying because like I'm gonna fly there with it, but I'm not gonna fly out with it. So I smoke everything while I break it out per day, make sure I have enough. But I was in Arkansas and I smoked all my weed and we got snowed in for 3 days and they don't have. It's like you can't get it out there. So I was so bummed and I was like taking like resin hits from the bowl I had, just trying to like, get through because I'm like, dude, this sucks, man. Like.
I've done that before. Or just like burn. Is that what you did? You're burning the.
Yeah. Oh yeah, just hold the lighter until something happens. Feel like you're just smoking the lighter at that point. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah. Oh man. What is it different? So like when you go to a town where weed is illegal, like what's the energy like in cities or states where there's weed and there's no weed?
So I only bring joints with me then. I'll go, like I'll my hotel room or whatever, but I'll only leave with a joint so I can eat it. Because if a cop comes up to me, I'm not even fucking around. I'm just gonna eat it. I don't give it. I have a water bottle with me. Smash it. Like who gives a shit, dude? Because it's not. And because the people out there too, like if you're anywhere, like, oh, it smells good, that's one thing. Other cities when it's not, everyone's like looking around. There's just too much looking around. Because you know what I mean? People are like, who is doing that? And then it's like, oh, I'm gonna get caught.
Very obvious,
yeah. But you go anywhere else, like everyone else is smoke. But like, I'm just so nervous to get caught with it and like go to jail in a random city or like, and then you have to go back to go to court or something. I don't know. I just can't wait till it's federal. I can't wait till it's like worldwide. Like what the hell? Like it's fucking I still don't get it. It's like I don't know.
I think because it helps people in such a dramatic way, in a positive way. Like I think it would have such a better effect on the world. Like that's like people are like trying to stop the world from being a better place, and that's part of why weed is. I don't know. That's
I don't doubt that at all. Because I'm with you. I do think that because everything is about keeping people apart with anything. With like at the end of it, it's like, you know, rich, poor, black, white, well, fucking wherever you are. If you're foreign, if you're from here, like my family's not. It's always weird too. It's like everyone wants to classify this so they can break us apart.
Yeah.
And when people smoke weed, I notice it's just such a bonding thing. You're right. It's the last thing they want us to do is bond over anything, because then we're gonna start talking and being like, oh, we have more in common than we do not in common. And then you know, we start talking about ideas and big things happen, and people don't want that, because you know, rich people or people they're in charge and they want to keep it that way.
Yeah.
And when people on the bottom start connecting, coming together, having big ideas, it just shifts things, which is a good shift for in general
everyone
else.
Yeah.
But I always think that it's like, why is alcohol okay? It's like, oh, because everyone fights on it.
Yeah.
And weed isn't, because everyone's cool.
Everyone loves each other.
Right?
On it. Yeah.
It's not a coincidence. It's like look, it's so obvious.
Yeah, it's frustrating. I mean, that's part of why I do this show. I don't even know why I do this show anymore, but it's just like I used to be nervous talking about it, but now I don't care. Like I mentioned it, and I don't even think twice about it. It's that feeling is gone for me.
Yeah, the stigma of it is like, get out of here. This is actually better for our lives. Like
Like I function pretty well. I did though. I got annoyed. I went to my doctor a couple months ago to get a checkup, and the nurse before seeing my doctor was asking me questions, and she was like, "So are you still abusing marijuana?" I was like, "Abusing marijuana? What are you talking about? Abusing marijuana?" She's like, "It says here that you smoke."
That's why I get it in my head, because that dumb shit is people are like, "How much do you smoke? Like once or twice a week?" And I was like, "I smoke once or twice before noon." Like, what do you mean? If I told my mom once I smoked like 3 times a week, and she started crying.
What?
And I was like, oh my God, Mom, if you knew how much I smoked, you would be so upset.
You would be devastated.
Like, so I know, so that like it gets in your head, like, am I doing something wrong? But then you see other people taking anxiety pills or depression pills or all
but
this.
That's okay.
Yeah, because the doctor told you it's okay, and it's like, that's so much worse for you than this thing I'm doing. I'm glad you're doing this, because it is. I think that with time, more people are realizing that the stigma of it is fake. It is like more people smoke than you know. That a lot of people hide it because of their job. They have to because of the professional lives or whatever.
It's like a choose your own adventure, I feel like, because there's so many different ways to consume it. You can get flour, you can do oils. I like the vapes, the cartridges.
The edibles. Man, that shit hits different.
So different. Edibles are great for movies, going on walks. I like to walk to like thrift stores and like just go look at stuff. Edibles are great for dancing.
Yeah. Good body. Yeah, it's very good body highs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm with you. I do think that there's a lot of like these tinctures and stuff that people have been using that are great. Yeah. But yeah, it's just I do think it is. People realize the benefits of it without the gnarly like side effects. You know what I mean?
And there's CBD too, which has no side effects other than it calms you or whatever.
Which I was trying to possibly start smoking CBD. I just like smoking too, you know, the act of smoking. So I was thinking maybe sometimes every third joint is a CBD joint, just to slow down,
You know what you should do?
What?
Okay, you're kind of tall, so I don't know if you can do this, but a bubble bath, a CBD bomb, like
really?
Those, it's just a regular, like a bomb. They make a CBD one.
Oh, that sounds nuts.
And they just like fizzle. We put it.
Does it work? Like in your skin? Like does it go like?
It's just more like relaxing. I feel like I'm just more relaxed, just super chill. Like I could go to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, I dig that shit. I'm all about like, and it's a plant, and like plants are awesome. You know what I mean? Like, it's very, I don't know. I'm a very big fan of weed, and it's weird to like at some point just be like okay with it, because like it is.
Gotta be okay with it.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's not even about me. It's about everyone else, and it's the idea of like, are you happy? Like, yeah, I love smoking weed. So it's like, then why do you care? And at some point, it was finally my mom and my dad are like. He's 37. He makes his own money. I'm definitely doing something off the beaten path, but so is, that's part of it, is smoking weed, is helping me be creative in a way that I want to like unlock certain things or connect when I play music. It's like if you just hit the joint a couple of times and play music, it's just the best. Like, I don't know. So I don't know. I'm very grateful for weed and stuff, but I am interested in like the ketamine thing and like other therapies that aren't just, pills. Pills just freak me out. I don't know, my whole life, just pill. Even like ecstasy, like I'll do Molly over ecstasy. I don't know why. It's just swallowing a pill.
I thought it was, is Molly?
It's like a powder you like dip. I mean, you can put it into a capsule, but the capsule is just like a powder.
I've had Molly. I'm trying to think of, I had something that was shaped like a mushroom. It was like the Mario mushroom, like the 1-Up.
Okay, it might be, but it could be Molly, Preston, I don't know. That's the other thing is people can do so much stuff with it now. I've only done Molly of like a dip it, put it on your tongue kind of thing, which is fun. Yeah. But then I was doing it a lot, like just partying, or going to like parties with my friends, and then you realize like, oh, I'm using all my happy. Because like on a random day, you would just be like, oh, I don't feel anything. Like not bad, I just feel like it was weird. I like noticed, I just don't have emotion. Like someone will say something and I just wasn't, I just had enough. Reacting. Yeah. So I feel
like that every day. Just a shell, empty shell.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, let me see. We've talked a lot about, we went through my notes. Shrooms, acid. Did we talk about acid? I don't know.
I've done acid. I like acid.
Shroom or acid is from my understanding, it's like a longer or a more intense version of shrooms, or it lasts longer and is more intense.
It's like, I mean, I feel like they're both very long. Shrooms always last me, like, to me it's like a day thing. If I'm gonna take shrooms. 8 hours. Acid's like the same, but I feel like it's more, I get more giggly. I don't know. It's like, how can I explain? I don't know. It's very similar. It's very similar, but also as a complete different, like, I don't know. It's less introspective. Acid has none of the, my brain's connecting with this fun shit. I feel like if you took all of the deepness out of the mushrooms, that's how I feel more on acid. Okay. Like I'm seeing stuff, it's pixelated, it's fun, but my brain's not, this is at least me personally, it's not necessarily going to these deep caverns trying to solve shit. It's just enjoying being high. You know what I mean?
How do you do that and perform? Like, how are you, like, I feel like I would be so scared to get on my guitar and like hit some acid and then just like.
Oh, I don't know. When I did acid, I usually lay outside. It's a big lay down and look at stuff, or like walk around and see stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Music's, and I like doing those drugs with people, and I don't like playing, unless I'm playing with a band, I usually, music's like my own thing. So like that's more of a big weed thing. But like, yeah, acid and shrooms is like, let's go to like Universal or something, or let's go do this fun thing and walk around and like feel the air hitting us and like, but acid's very similar to shrooms, I get, without like, the
deepness.
The message after.
I remember the first shrooms I took here in this apartment. I had a conversation with Amy Winehouse. She was my blow dryer. And I think I was apologizing. I was like, we killed you. Like, it's our fault. I'm so sorry. You're gone. I'm so sorry. And this is like way after she passed away. Like
years after?
Yeah. This is probably more this is maybe 2018 or 2017 or 18 is when I had my first dose of shrooms.
Okay.
So yeah, I was talking to Amy Winehouse.
Nice. Sounds like a fun trip.
Yeah. And my cat, her fur, it looked like it was wavy. And so I recorded on my phone, and then when I was sober, I was like, oh, it just looks regular.
But it's fun though, because when you do mushrooms, like, it just stays with you. Me and my brother, we kept laughing. There's a Dave Attell joke. What the hell was it? I I forgot the punch, but like it was just like God damn it was a pancakes joke, and my buddy got pancakes tattooed on his leg after because it was such a big part of that whole day.
Yeah.
Was yeah, I don't know, it was so stupid, but it's like, oh yeah, you remember those moments, or like my mushroom trips I remember a lot, and like they're, I don't know, they're very fun. It is something, if I could only pick one drug to do for the rest of my life, as much as I love smoking weed, I would do mushrooms every like 3 or 4 months, just because I feel like there's actually something that happens in my brain and my body and shit, even though.
That's true.
But if I could pick two, it'd be weed all day with it. But it's like mushrooms, I do think, I don't know, every time I've done it, I have a positive outcome from it, and I do start change. Like it's kind of like similar to the ketamine thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That sounds intense. Like ketamine sounds intense. Like, yeah, I want to do that, and the next day I'll like have a whole new life,
yeah,
be a different person.
I know it's weird too, because I kind of wish I didn't have such a gnarly experience on it, because I feel like that guy being like, it is so good, but it was like I was shocked. I was like I was in a shitty spot, and then I wasn't, and it was such a.
Sounds like you needed it.
Yeah, and I was glad. And I even told I called him on the way home, like, dude, I want to hug you right now, because you have no idea how much I needed that. Because I was talking to him, we were just at his house, I was smoking weed, and he was talking to me, and I asked him, he smokes weed a lot. I was like, how'd you quit smoking weed? He's wanted to stop for like 3 months. And he's like, you're not going to believe me, but I did ketamine. And I started thinking about whatever, and I just wanted to stop. And I was like, oh, that's weird. And we started talking about it. I was like, oh, I heard it's good for depression. And I told him I was kind of feeling a little rough lately. And then he kind of started looking at me, and he's like, I'll be right back. And he grabbed some, and he's like, if you want, we could try some. And then I was just like, oh shit, all right. And it was just that last minute, like, fuck it, let's just do it without thinking too much. And yeah, it was just, I'm glad I even brought it. Like, that's the thing, is you bring it up to your buddy. Like, yeah, I've been kind of feeling like off lately, and I'm not sure why. And yeah, it was a cool experience. And a lot of it was I wanted to be better. I wanted to like get out of that funk, because I do want to be like, I don't want to be one of these like hoarders or people on like those like addicted shows of like, your brain is very powerful, and you can go one way or you can go the other way. And I would rather lean on like, let me control what I'm thinking and doing, and try to be like someone that can inspire people or push people, that hopefully the way I was inspired and pushed by like Alan Watts or like different people that I give credit to, hopefully someone one day will be like, oh, Mike, this guy, I heard him do this thing or did this, and it kind of pushed me in this direction. Because like, you know, but that's why even with weed, it's like I don't want to quit smoking weed because it's so much of my story that's real. And if people ask about it, it's like, yeah, most of my day, the whole day I'm high, but I'm not late to shit.
Yeah.
I get all my stuff done. I do all my business stuff. Like, even the business partner was afraid to start the business with me because he doesn't smoke weed. And he's like, I mean, my wife thought that like, you are high all the time, how is this gonna work? He slips up so much more than me. Like, love you, Nolan, so much more than me. And it's like, but a part of that is because I don't want to fuck up so much that I work even harder, because I don't want weed to be this excuse. I don't want people to be like, oh, well, you're high. It's like, no, I fucked up because I fucked up.
Yeah,
but I'm always high, so it's like, well, I can't fuck up. So I just have to be better so I can be high. You know?
Yeah, I love that. No, for sure. Like, even the anxiety like that weed gives is like, the anxiety is to make sure that I don't fuck up because I'm high.
Yeah, it's like I want to enjoy being high, but I don't want you to be mad that I'm high.
Yeah,
and it's just like, fuck, man.
It sucks that people still like weed's bad for you, because like there are a lot of people like you and me who function very well because of it, and can like still live our lives and get stuff done. I mean, does it really? Has weed ever like ruined anyone's life to the point where it's like a drug addiction? You know, like, I
don't think so, but it probably made it not as good as it could have been, for sure.
Yeah,
I have friends that are couch locked. Like, they're good with just smoking all day and stick it. Like, it's kind of easy. It's fun. It's kind of easy to stay in this loop, and then 10 years goes by, and you're just like, oh man. I mean, I'm still enjoying my life, but maybe if I don't know. But it's also, I think that maybe those same people without weed would still be doing that.
Yeah,
you know what
I think it's a motivation thing. Like, whatever I set my mind to is like if I set my mind to just like chilling on my couch, then that's what's gonna happen when I'm smoking.
For sure.
Or if I want to play my guitar for a couple hours or whatever I need to do, I just like set my mind to it, like you did with the ketamine. Just set my mind to it and then take my hits, and then I go at it. Sometimes with a bong, sometimes they can hit real hard, and I have to like lay on the floor for a minute.
Yeah, that's great. I love those moments though, because sometimes it's like, am I even getting as high as I used to? And then you get that moment where you're just like, I need to sit down.
Yeah.
Yes, I am getting as high as I used to.
Yes.
Fuck yeah. Very good.
Okay. Well, Mike, I don't know. Is there anything that you want to add on a scale of 1 to 10, or 0 to 10, 0 being shitty, fucked up, 10 being amazing? How do you feel about your life?
Honestly, I would say a 9. Cause I'm feeling really good. There's a couple like areas where it's like, you'd like to have a partner or someone to enjoy cool shit with, but I'd rather not have the wrong person around. So that's why it's like, it's hard to like want that when you're just like, it's better to be alone. But yeah, I don't know. I'm doing all the things I want to do. I'm very much in that mode of being happy, trying to like, someone said, what is it? Happiness is, you have to make effort. It's an effort.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't just wake up and be happy. And the same thing. It's like, oh yeah, it's weird to think of it. It takes effort to be happy, but it's like, no, it takes effort to do the things that make you happy.
Yes.
Like every time I go golfing with my friends, I have the best time ever. But sometimes it's hard for me to go golf. But then you get there and you're just like, oh yeah, stop remembering. Stop, this makes you happy. Do this thing. So I've been pretty present with all that shit lately. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked. I wouldn't change much. I would just want to see where this all. I feel like I'm in the beginning of a fun thing that I've been like built like you've been like gardening for a while and you start seeing these things coming up and you're just like, oh, this is so exciting.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm at that area a little bit with everything with like the business and with like even my friends' relationships and life and stuff. So yeah, I would go there. I'd say around 9. No. What about you?
Life's been life in me for sure. I want to say probably the number that popped in my head was a 6.
Okay.
Yeah, life's just been like, just things after like one thing after another. Dealing with car shit, this neighborhood, like just wanting to change, feeling stuck. It's funny. Somebody, the bass player that gave me this week, he was like, "When's your birthday?" And he pulled this personality thing, and he was reading it to me. And one of the things he read, it said that a part of my personality is that I feel stuck. And I'm like, shit, that's where I'm at right now. I feel stuck. Stuck like here. I started the show here. I'm still doing it here. I haven't like moved anywhere else. I would love to do it somewhere else or a bigger venue or have an audience. Money, work, just like, and I think I've also like chosen I'd rather be alone than like have shitty relationships. So it's like, realizing how like where my life is, where I wanted my life to go and where it's at right now. So that's why I would say it's at a 6. But I think meditating helps me really just kind of like just accept whatever's happening and not be like super low or down about it or not like project whatever I'm feeling to anybody else.
Yeah.
But yeah, like in terms of like hitting my goals and dreams and stuff, and like I feel like I'm getting better or getting closer, but I'm stuck. And so that stuckness has me at a 6.
Yeah.
So I would say a 6, yeah.
The fact that you can even recognize the things that you're stuck on is good, because then you can at least write them down and be like, all right, how can I unstick this?
Yeah.
How can I unstick that? Because, I don't know, I half of it is just figure, because I don't know, I don't know shit, but it's just, I feel like at least you know where you're tripping a little bit, and then be like, okay, let me fix this so I don't trip on that. Let me fix this, because I mean, I do want a relationship. It just sucks. I think I had a good one, and I think I like fucked it up. It's one of those where it's like, so everyone I'm hanging out with is just comparing it to this other person, and it's not good for them. It's not good for me. So then I'm like, all right, let me take a step back from that. But I don't know. But yeah, being stuck is a rough one, because it is like, you will get out. It's like, it's stuck isn't forever. You know what I mean? So nothing's sticky forever. So
except for my weed.
Yeah, right. But at least honestly, I think this kind of shit, being creative helps. Putting this shit out there, connecting with people helps. I appreciate you having me here. Like, this is dope. Like,
I'm so grateful you came. Like, people who are busy just like are always busy. So it's
all
like,
good. I make time. But if and it sounds like it can be off the pod. If there's anything that you need help on in general, on sticking, let me know, because
yeah, sure.
It's just whatever. It's just in general, even if it's just like, let's go smoke at this spot. Whatever, I'm down to like just do whatever.
Oh man,
I'm always down to unstick for real.
Yeah.
Especially weeds, I love smoking weed with people. I always smoke. I mean, we smoke so much alone. Like I feel like most of my sessions are alone. That I always enjoy smoking with someone because it's like, oh yeah, it's such a communal thing. Like weed is so, it's like feeding people.
Sometimes it's quiet, or sometimes it's chatty, sometimes it's giggly. Like it's or it's a combination of those.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. Sometimes you just zone out and just like, oh, I forgot we were just together for a minute. That was dope. We're just like high and just existing, but like alone together. But like it's I love to smoke. Definitely need some more smoking partners. I was just like, because I've been meditating and like doing like the self-care stuff and having a therapist, I've just been like cutting people left and right, just like, okay. That's smart.
It is smart, but it's like also like at a point it's like, fuck, I'm so lonely. I'm like, why am I so lonely? Oh yeah, well, because I just set all these boundaries. But my therapist told me to get a jar and to use that jar, fill the jar with marble. Like everyone in my life has a jar for themselves that represents them. Okay. And to fill it with if I feel filled up by them, I make a list, like if they do this for me or with me, then I add 5 marbles or 2 marbles or whatever. Or if they do something I don't like, then I take it out. And then I realized like I didn't have anyone in my life who I felt like even making marbles for. Like that's where it was like, fuck. Like so to a point of like the self-care got to a point where it's like I don't even like I cleaned out all the garbage to the point where like it's spot clean, there's nothing. So that's where it's at.
Well, that's smart, because that's the other thing is sometimes people are in your life and you don't realize like, how did you even get in my life? Like if I take a step back, like you can't choose your family, but I can choose my friends. And like cutting a friend off is hard, but sometimes it's just like, I don't know, you're just negative. I don't think you're here for me at all. You know what I mean? And it's but.
Yeah, it happens. Especially like the older we get, for sure. I think that's part of getting older, is like getting mature and just realizing like I'm about to leave you behind.
Yeah.
Like I definitely can't date anyone who's like not ambitious. Like I will leave you behind. Like it's not. I'm always having goals and things to do.
Yeah, and it's hard, especially, and it sounds silly, but the more that you expect out of yourself and out of life, that you expect that same thing out of your partner. So it's like, I don't want to be with anybody that doesn't have the same 11 feel for themselves of like, I'm going to push myself until the wheels come off. And just being happy and working and just doing whatever. And it is hard to find someone match your energy that you also connect with, you know, physically, mentally, emotionally. It's like, it's very, so I don't know. But I also feel like someone had a joke last night, which is so funny. I saw a show, this guy's like, when you go to Ross, you always find the thing you're not looking for, but the thing you need. So he's like, so go there looking for something that you're not looking for, and you'll find it. And it's like, and like that's kind of like with dating or whatever too. It's like, man, the harder I stress on like, man, it'd be nice if I had somebody around. It's just like, just stop focusing on it, and that person's gonna pop in the second that you're just focused on other shit, because it's gonna make you better too. Even friends, like a lot of better friends popped into my life because I was a better friend, and I also gave them time to took off other friends. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, now I have this hole here. And then randomly, organically, people I wanted to be around more filled it up. And then also me making an effort when they get invited to taco night, go. You know what I mean? Like when someone hits you up, like go to the thing, because they're gonna stop inviting you if you keep saying no. And especially if you want to hang out with those people and make those efforts. So, but it is, because that marble thing is very smart. I like that, because I'm very visual. I always write stuff down. I do like, and that's like an obvious like, this person's killing it as a friend. This person sucks. It's also funny to have that, like you could tell them or not tell them that the marble jar represents them or not. So like they come into your home and see like why do you have like, what's with the jars or the marbles? Like, oh, it's just there, decoration. It's like, this is how I measure. You suck, dog. You didn't have a jar, bro. You didn't even have a jar. You didn't even get a jar. That's why I don't have no jars. I have no jars. Okay, well, let's start wrapping it up, because I don't even know if this shit is recording. I haven't even checked it. I hope everything's still going. Do you want to, what do I do? Promote some shit? Promote some stuff? I guess the main thing is we like Third Wheel, Podcast Studio, or the Comedy Club. They're not tied. They're kind of tied. Like me and Nolan own both of them, but then the Comedy Club has 2 other owners as well, Avery and Dex. But so that, you just follow Third Wheel, or like True Crime Travel Map is the new pod. I'm really into that. TrueCrimeTravelMap.com. You can go to see the map. We have a podcast. We're on YouTube, Facebook, all that stuff too. And then I guess that might be it for now. I'm just doing mostly Third Wheel stuff. And then music stuff on the way, but it's just like, it's always like, I hate sharing my music stuff with people because it's such a personal thing that sometimes I feel like when I put it out, I don't know, like I feel like they're seeing a part of me that I'm not sure I like people seeing, because I'm just a little bit more vulnerable, I guess, with lyrics and like the songs and stuff. So I write them all and I do whatever. I've only performed live at Third Wheel alone. I started doing it because we have a music open mic every Sunday, and the guy that runs it is like, Danny is amazing. He sings in person the way most people sing in private. And I'm like, that is so impressive. Because when I'm around people, I go down to like a 5 of like, I'm just a shell. And when you're in front of people, Danny, I think you even sing bigger. And I'm inspired by people like that just, he doesn't care. He's like, the art is bigger than me. I'm gonna put it out. So I've been trying to push the music stuff more, but when I put it out, it'll be a thing. But I have a book I wrote that comes out at the end of the year. It's called Comedy is for Dummies.
Comedy for Dummies.
It's everything I've learned doing stand-up in 10 years. I break down like everything. If you never know anything about stand-up and you read the book, you'll learn a fuck ton. Like even what to send to bookers, like did it break down like just everything I've really figured out. But I mean, it's it. And then at Mike Masilotti on shit is me. We can smoke together sometime when I go to your city.
Yes. It's interesting that you said writing songs makes you feel vulnerable, but like you write jokes, you write your own jokes, right?
Yeah, but I have an idea. It's funny because I have an idea and I just go on stage and just like talk. And then I'll make it into a joke after doing that a couple times and be like, okay, this is the way this goes. But I don't sit at home and like write like A, B, C, D. It's like, I had an idea, like I was walking by a homeless guy the other day, listening to a podcast, and I started laughing. And he was just like, what's so fucking funny? You laughing at me? Is this funny to you? And I was like, what the fuck? No, bro, I'm listening to something. I'm sorry. And so I was like, oh, that's kind of a silly idea. So now I'll bring that on stage, just that thought, and then see if I can riff something from that has legs, and then try it 3 or 4 times. And if I don't get anything, just move on to a new thought. But so I don't really write, like if I sit down and write, it's like music. It's like, I'll write the song, everything, but like comedy is more of I'm gonna think of a funny thing and try to repeat that a bunch of times. I've tried to sit down and write a joke. I'm so corny. I'm so bad.
Well, his stand-up's great, so check it out. I think the ones, what was it called? The Gateway Show, the one, you were giggly. I think you said you get giggly. Yeah, you're giggly.
I like that.
Okay, well, that's it. That's Dope Comedians. I am going to tell you to subscribe and to do all that stuff, but you already know that. You're already subscribed. I don't even have to tell you to do that. I'm going to be back here again. Whenever I'm back, it'll be back, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.